welcome to Bullet Point Conversations, where today we will be discussing the topic of aquaponics, where today I am being joined by my good friend, Bill Coe. How's it going?
It's great. It's great. Thank you for having me here. The project of aquaponics is called Green Acres Urban Farms and Research Project, and my name is Bill Coe, and I'm the director. So you had some questions for me about our project.
Yes, I did. What inspired you to begin this project?
I was inspired years ago, almost like 5 or 6 years ago. I must be honest with you, my inspiration really came as looking as far as entrepreneurship, not necessarily the socially driven mission, where it is today. My mom inspired me to check out this industry and look at the food and urban farming and food production and how it can change the community.
How did Jesus help you with this journey?
The Lord has helped me in this journey in so many different ways, and this being the week of Thanksgiving, giving thanks, I'm extremely grateful, Noah, because the journey that He opened up this door for me to have the type of training and understand the type of resources, all what's involved in urban farming and aquaponics. It has been a blessing, but not only has it been a blessing, it's been a blessing that God has shown me how to use it. That has been one of those things that I'm really grateful for and thankful for, to be able to use the technology, use all the wisdom and all the knowledge to put it in our city and actually see it changing and impacting people's and communities' lives. That's very humbling.
How do you think this will be able to help the community?
Aquaponics is the science of aquaculture, where we utilize fish and plants in a balanced system, and we grow the plants in a water system, not a soilless system. Currently, in our community, particularly in the inner city, there are a lot of what we call food deserts and a lot of food insecurity. Those two things are major issues, particularly in the urban core or the inner cities of America. The food desert issue is based upon the affordability of grocery stores or healthy foods that are available, such as vegetables, fruits, and things like that in the inner city. The food insecurity is an economic issue. It's based upon people being able to afford the day-to-day necessary food. As we look at the increasing prices of organic foods, which are healthier for you as opposed to unorganic foods, you're finding that people, it's based upon it's an economic, either you can afford it or not. A family of 4 can probably easily go get a $1 menu item selections and feed the family that night versus driving clear across town, going to a premium organic food store and paying, double, triple what they would be paying. So those are the issues that our project is designed, our research project in Green Acres is designed to tackle and to address.
And just for our listeners here, I have actually worked in fast food for about 1.5 years, so I'm able to comprehend all the unhealthiness.
Right, exactly. The food that we produce in the aquaponics system and in the urban farming system is what I consider what is called live food. It's food that is alive. So basically, when you're harvesting the food in its organic state, it's in completely clean soil, no pesticides, no chemicals or anything like that. And what that is the old adage is you are what you eat. At Green Acres Urban Farms, we say that all the time, you are what you eat. And so we try to focus kids and teachers and adults and people that want to learn more about eating something that they can grow and produce. And that way you source where this food is coming from.
And how would you be able to get an application to build an aquaponics?
Aquaponics system that you've seen, Noah, that's in the greenhouse, that we currently use was purchased over 5 years ago. Currently, it's in production over 100 countries around the world. So it's the premium model of aquaponics. We've had some sideline discussions about how you build a home-based aquaponics system. We have build-based system as well that we showcase at our facility, and that's built by one of the, I call him the grandfather of urban farming, and that's Will Allen of Growing Power out of Milwaukee. He's a great lecturer, great innovator in this field. I trained under him. I'm one of his proteges. And so we feature that, what we call it's a bunk bed system, where you have the fish in the bottom and you have your plants growing on top. But the system that we primarily operate is a commercially based system, which was designed to carry or to change a food economy, whether that be in the inner city or whether expanding it and growing it to other areas of the country.
And what kind of fish do you necessarily need for this kind of system?
Okay, as a director, I make the choices as far as which fish we need, and the reason that's based upon a lot of criteria. First of all, because we are in Kansas City, Missouri, I like to feature a Missouri native fish. There's some competitive advantages to featuring these fish, particularly from a student learning and teacher aspect. Students get to see the fish that are swimming in our state. It depends on what type of system you have. There are a lot of variables in analyzing that and making that decision. As we discussed, and we prefer to use Missouri-based fish because of the aquaculture that's involved with the fish. The kids get the opportunity to connect with fish that are in the state of Missouri, and the fact that we have some cold water fish that during the colder months of the year, they do very well. We have some Missouri River Channel catfish, which are native to and tend to be a hardier, sturdier fish as far as in dealing with the temperature changes of our weather. So we feature the bluegill, we feature the catfish, and we also feature the state-of-the-art old-fashioned goldfish with a couple Japanese koi thrown in there just to make it beautiful. We based our decisions based upon our water temperature, our climate, and our feeding schedules, and all these things that come into play in looking at an aquaponics setup.
Would bacteria be an issue with this?
Yes, absolutely. When we look at the aquaculture balance, we're looking at a plant balance and a fish balance. So bacteria, healthy bacteria, are very important in each ecosystem. So just as important for the fish, they have what we call we use what we call a temperature, not a temperature range, but a good range, a tolerance, if you will. And based upon these tolerances, the fish will thrive with this type of bacteria. Our aquaponics system is a clear flow aquaponics system, which basically it cycles the water all the way through the system. So as we take out the bad bacteria, which are harmful, such as the waste products from the fish, they're cycled through the system and through clarifiers and other mechanisms which clean the water up, and we extract all the bad bacteria and we interject all the new bacteria, or introduce all the new bacteria into what we call our raft tanks. We have a raft tank system, which is basically a raft, a floating bed of water where all of our plants are on. So as that bacteria is cycled through the system from the fish, it's pumped through the system, gone through the clarifiers, which we call them, and we have all that healthy bacteria that is now available for plants. So we monitor the water quality and the fish water quality as well, because fish cannot survive in that type of water.
In other words, it's the reason why it burns our eyes when we jump into a pool.
Correct. I mean, it's a chemical. I mean, if you really want to, examine the issue, it is a chemical that's used to kill off bacteria, and it doesn't know the difference between good bacteria and bad bacteria, and that's kind of what's communicated in the workshops with the kids. We have a workshop, we call it Aquaponics QnA, and in that relationship between aquaponics and you, what we're talking about is the similarities between fish and people. The same conditions that are favorable for fish are the same conditions that are favorable for human beings. So we connect those relationships with kids, like fish have feelings, kids have feelings. Fish need food, we need food. Fish need oxygen, we need oxygen. Fish need healthy ecosystems, we need healthy ecosystems. So this is all a part of our social mission as Green Acres Urban Farms, is that we're able to communicate these types of methods, this type of science and technology to children, and they're able to connect with it on a higher level.
How often would you need to change the water?
We filter our water out as often as possible. Basically, with our system, it comes with the standard operating procedures. The reasons why we filter the water out is, like we talked about, water quality is extremely important. We have invested in several water quality kits, therefore we can monitor the pH levels, because those swings, as I mentioned, between the fish and the plants, there is a tolerance between, let's say if it's for fish, it might be 6 to about 7.5 on the pH. For plants, they need to grow ideally between about 5.5 and maybe about 6.5, 7. A little bit higher than 7, then the plants aren't getting all the nutrients. One of the things that we're able to do is within those tolerances, we're able to identify what type of plants, what type of fish grow and flourish in that environment, and that's what creates the balance.
How would you base a system like from a basic crop to like the system you have?
A basic crop, the differences between us and maybe a farmer? Okay, and aquaponics. Well, there's a lot of advantages to aquaponics, and that's where we feel like that this is where the technology is going to go. It allows you to grow food effectively, chemically free, systematically all year round. You can actually be far more productive than a row farmer, because a row farmer has basically seed time and harvest, and then you calculate that based upon the annual growing cycle of the year. So the growing cycle could be, spring, summer, fall in the cycle. Okay, then you go in the winter. With us, we can grow year round. So we have spring, summer, fall, spring, summer, fall, spring, summer, fall. There's no break on the harvest. There's no breaking on the seeding. So therefore, we're much more productive, and we're much more able to deliver what I would consider a quality, sustainable crop.
And would you be able to grow like throughout the seasons?
Yes, that's exactly what we would do, because the seasons wouldn't matter at all to us. And that's what gives us, with that rural farmer in that example, they'll have a winter season where they can't plant and they can't grow and nothing's coming out. After the harvest, they usually have to let the soil regenerate and restart for spring. With our system being that it's aquaponics and it's water-based, it's not so. We're able to harvest, seed time, harvest, and produce multiple pounds of leafy greens, multiple pounds of fresh fish.
What would be like your smallest to your largest amount of foods you can grow?
What do you mean the smallest by?
Like from a tomato to like a pumpkin, let's say.
Okay, I got you. The size, it's really based upon the structure that we integrate in aquaponics. Let me put it to you like this. There's our system, which is primarily plant leafy green. However, there's other things that are part of our system where we're planning on for 2018 to add on those larger plants. And it's actually some growing methods that are available in our greenhouse that I show folks, where we're growing plants over rocks and without any soil. And so with that rock growth, we're creating what we call grow beds. And in grow beds basically relates to the fact that you can take a plant such as a pumpkin plant, such as a cucumber, such as a tomato plant, and you can grow those within those rocks, within that nutrients that we're producing from our fish system, and scale those all the way up. So that'll be a feature product. That'll be something that people can come out and see in 2018 when we develop, and that'll be an indoor-outdoor experience as well too. So people will get to see how in midwinter we're growing the tremendous amount of vegetables, and we're in a hoop house or a greenhouse.
How big and how small can this system be?
An aquaponic system basically can be as small as you'd like to design it. I mean, the technology has been around since the Mayan culture, but you have the ability to take fish, and like I broke down the fact that you take the waste products from the fish. So if you have the fish in a bowl, you could certainly do that if you can extract that waste and have it going into a little plant-based colander. We do have some examples of a system that's built like ours, but it's basically less than 6 to 8 inches.
That sounds like a pretty small system.
Yeah, it's a replica of what we have. On our larger system, the high school students put it together and display.
What are the various training programs you have?
We have, right now, we have about 5 workshops that we offer on our website, and that's how people can call us and connect. We are, the 5 workshops that we've designed, one is called A Fun Guy to Know, which basically is mushroom production. A fun guy, get it? Okay, so I'm kind of a, ham for humor. M is for microgreens, and microgreens is what we talked about earlier. That's a workshop where you come in and actually plant and grow microgreens. And then you come back and harvest your microgreens, and we'll have some that you could take with you that day. The second one we have is Aquaponics QnA. That's analysis of fish and plant biology. It gives you an overview of aquaponics and the history of aquaponics, some of the resources that and the decision making we make when in an aquaponics system. And it gives you a brief overview and like training in the facility. The next workshop that we have that I teach is called Save Our Soil, SOS. And Save Our Soil is basically on how we take our soil and we use that soil to grow healthy food, and how we treat the soil, and how we compost, and we do vermiposting. That's where we have our worms and what our worms do. So you get a background of how our worms recycle all that soil, and then how we take that soil and grow to the fantastic results that we get.
Thank you very much for all that input.
Yes, sir.
And we are currently running low on time, and I thank you very much about this.
Uh-huh.
And I hope to see you again, and also I wish you a lot of luck in the future.
Sure, and if I may, I'll give you our website, so if people are interested in checking it out, it's www.gogreenacreskc.org. And my name is Bill Coe. I'm the director of Green Acres Urban Farms and Research Project. Thank you, and looking forward to hearing from you.
Well, that was the end of this podcast. I hope you have enjoyed, and I greatly recommend to volunteer or become a part of this aquaponics system, because if this system takes off, it will greatly benefit your community. I guarantee it. Anyways, that's all for now. Hope to see you in the next one.